Welcome back, everyone. We're going to take a look at Theory C of 4.2, and this time I'm going to start with an example. Let's take a look. The number of houses in Amersfoort, I guess they mean Amersfoort, or just Amersfoort, whatever, increased by 50% to 60,000 between 1990 and 2010. According to Rob, this means that there were 50% fewer houses in 1990 than in 2010. Therefore, the number of houses in 1990 is half of the number of houses in 2010. What mistake has he made? And again, this is sort of a magic trick that you can do with percentage-based calculations, in that a lot of people would say that this is the case. But let's just write this down using calculations to see where it goes wrong. I have an increase by 50%, right? That means that if I do old times 1.5, I find new. And in this case, new is given. So old times my multiplication factor, 1.5, is 60,000. And the difference here is that I normally know normally I know old and use it to calculate new. Instead here, I know new and I'm going to use that to calculate old. And how I explain it here is, if something times 1.5 is 16,000, use the balance method, divide left and right by 1.5, and you find 40,000 here. So old was 40,000. And that is not the same as half of 60,000, which is 30,000, right? So be careful with that. That's what Theory C is about, calculating odds for percentage increases and decreases. And what I always do is just write down, and they do it like this, with this on the left hand side, this on the right hand side. You can also swap that around. You use the same formula that you already know. New is multiplication factor times old. And normally we knew the multiplication factor and old, and it was just a calculation. Now, let's say we have an increase of 12% and new is 588. I get 1.12 times old is new, but now I know new, so 1.12 times old is 588. Therefore, balance method states that old is equal to 588 over 1.12. That's 525, so that means the old price was 525. Therefore, you have to be aware for the following two calculations. If I know old, then calculating new is not that new. We know how to do that, right? New is, then just fill in old, you get the calculation. But if you want to calculate old, you have to do old is new over my multiplication factor. And you can immediately write this down. Certainly at the start, I would maybe prefer just write it down like this, because then you maybe see the comparison a bit better, as in why it is divided by, instead of, oh, here's again a new formula. And just use balance method. You're solving an equation here. So you can use this overview as well, right? From old to new is times, from new to old is divided, but you can also explain it using the balance method. And the same thing applies for deduction. If I reduce my price, you can still use a multiplication factor times old is new. Now my multiplication factor is smaller than 1. Use balance method, divide 230 by 0.92, and you find 250. Okay? So if you get questions like this, read carefully. Is old or new given? And as you can see, the method is quite the same for an increase or a decrease. Okay? Let's take a look at an example. A book is on sale with 30% discount and now costs €14.70. How much did the book cost before the discounts? Okay. Well, you can use this strategy. If I have a 30% discount, 100 minus 30 is 70%. Divided by 100 is 0.7. I'm going to skip already over to my pen because maybe I want to write something down as well. So you get old times 0.7 to find new, and divided by 0.7 to find old. Here you know new, So you have to use alt is new over 0.7. So this is the calculation that you have to write down. What you also could write down is, I already explained it like this, 0.7 times alt is new, right? Now, do I know alt or new? I know new, so 0.7 times alt is 1470. I want to know alt, I have 0.7 in front of it, so divide left and right by 0.7 and you get alt, and alas, it's the same calculation, 14.70 divided by 0.7 is 21 euros. I actually prefer writing it down like this. You can also, of course, write it down in one go and then use this to figure out if you have to do times or divided by. Whatever floats your boat, okay? I explained this as well because some people find this part confusing, and then writing it down like this gives them a bit more insight of what they're actually doing. Okay? I think the next slide's already about theory D. It is, so this is what we're going to take a look at in the next video. Good luck!